and without form and without purpose. You mean God made us with something that had the potential of going wrong in us? Y'all remember Tyler Perry's movie, I Can Be Bad All By Myself? Have you ever wondered why you don't need nobody around you to mess up? You ever wonder that nobody really has to help you do wrong? Y'all not walking with me. See, I wish I was talking to some real saved folk that would just say, we spirit-filled tongue talking, know exactly what you're saying. Paul said, there's another member in my body. I know what's right, and I delight to do what's right, but there's somebody else down in here that wants to do some other stuff. And the only one able to deliver me from that one is the Lord Jesus. He wasn't talking about some little imp. He was talking about something down in his appetite, something down on the inside of him that was wrestling. You ever fight with yourself? Right. All right. So then why would God make man out of this substandard material? Why would God do that? Well, it's what we're reading here in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Because down in the midst of that substandard material where everybody else is watching, they just can't stay out of trouble. They have problems all the time. They cause more stuff. They like pig pens. Storms follow them everywhere they go. They just messing. And just as soon as church folks start writing you out and counting you out because you can't get it together, God said, but there's a treasure hidden on the inside of there, and the right time I'm going to show you that I am greater than what they're struggling with. Woo, that's good news. What are you talking about? Watch this. See, if God didn't know what Adam was going to do, then why did he name one of the seasons fall? Y'all mad or glad? Well, why would he name it fall? Huh? Why put a name on it that denotes something's going to be stripped down? If he didn't know what he was doing. Right? Now, on the fourth day, God did some very powerful things. God said, I'm going to put some some lights up in the firmaments. And there was a sun and the moon and the stars. And he said, I want them to be for signs, seasons, days, and for years. Are y'all with me? Y'all want me to go back to my Bible? Is this all right? Y'all want me to stay with the Bible and show you where I'm at? I don't want to make y'all uncomfortable. Say he ain't went back to his Bible yet. Some folks say, is he talking the Bible or not? Let me go back and read it. You ready? I'm in Genesis chapter 1, right? It says now, okay, you there? Verse 14. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for what? Signs, and for seasons, and for year. So they are for signs and seasons, and for days, and for years. Well, what is God talking about? Why do we need to know days? Well, then we know how to count months, and then weeks and years. And so he's talking about cycles, seasons. So listen, I'm not trying to be crude. I want you to catch the spirit of what I'm saying. If the earth cycles, why shouldn't we? Correct? So the earth, I don't know how y'all do down here in Birmingham, but we're right in almost at the end of our fall. Then comes winter, then, right? So you have how many? 4. 4 is the number of the earth. All right. 4 is also the number that's assigned to the children of Israel when they were around the tabernacle. There were 3 tribes to the north, south, east, and west. So they made up 4. There are 4 living creatures around the presence of God. All right. There are 4 winds. And those 4 winds, when they start blowing, helps the earth cycle. All right. So now, some of us move deeper south because we try to bypass some of those seasons. Let me say it this way. Some of us don't like winter. Now we have some juicy winters where we're from. I mean, off the chart juicy. We got so sick of last winter It's like spring was never going to come. I mean, we had snow, we had ice, we had it all in living color. And we're like, come on, Jesus, please. We up in April still talking about, can we have a warm day? So you got some real people that can afford it, and I don't hate on them, but you know, they go deep south and they say, we can bypass all of that. We don't have to change our wardrobes. Isn't that nice? Except in the spirit, if you don't cycle correctly, you are doomed to repeat. And some of us have been around that tree so many times. and we wonder why we're not growing and maturing in the air, because we've learned how to get around some things or some people. Some of us have been wise enough to say, this is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to leave this job and get another one. And then we say we're going to leave this church and go to another one. Well, do you understand? God is so God. The same folk that you were running from at church A show up at church B. The same ugly, nasty supervisor you was tired of on job 1, you found them on job 2. And the real issue is, none of them are the devil. It's all you. Okay? Right? So we cycle. And in every year and every season, this is how we know that we're mature. God will bring that same test through another situation, through another individual, and see, now I'm going to see how you're going to respond this time. And you know, God is not like some of our school systems where they graduate you and you can't read and you get diplomas and all this kind of stuff. You 4 years in the college and don't know nothing about C-spot run. God said, look, I don't operate like that. If you don't make graduation requirements, you don't graduate. You don't go on. Right? And we think that just because we have matured in kind of one area, that God has forgotten about this piece. No, God will cycle it about. He'll cycle it right around. And let me tell you, when he will cycle it back, you'll be on the altar worshiping.